Yo, what's good, everybody? Y'all know who I am, but I go by the name of Gabriel Ori, and this is my co-host.
What's up, guys? It's JR here.
Hey, listen, and y'all are tuned in to Ask a Producer. Listen, we believe that everyone produces something. I just hope that it's something positive, something that you can impact in a positive way for your community. And, you know, this is another Friday, man. Like, how you feel, JR?
Man, I feel good, man.
Hey,
It's the best days of the week.
Hey, because the week is ending, and we still in that turkey month. We kind of still there. We holding on to it.
I'm done.
I feel you, man. But it's been a good Friday, man. As you can see, we're happy. We're glad to be with you guys another Friday. So listen, share this video. I need y'all to share this right now. This is a special pod that we got tonight. I want you to tag an artist. I want you to tag a preacher, tag a singer. You know, just go ahead and tag your friends, tag your nephew, tag your uncle in them. We got a very special guest in backstage right now. You know, and I'm glad, you know, these past episodes of Active Producer just kind of remind me how important it is, JR, just to kind of like, you know, just spread the word, get some info out. You know, people, I think people, this is like educational for me, you know.
Right. And you know, scriptures always it talks about the people perishing without the lack of knowledge. So there are people, a lot of producers, people who are doing things in the community have some information that can help somebody,
That's right.
and they feel to expand on whatever it is that they're doing. So so that's why I'm just grateful of this show because of that. So
that's
yeah.
right. So y'all know, you know, we are from the Charleston and surrounding areas, you know, and this special guest that we got backstage with us tonight, you know, you probably sing his songs in your church, you know, and notice I said songs. This man just released a whole album on us, and it's, oh man, this I hate to give it away, but it really blessed my soul, you know. It really blessed my soul, and I know it's blessing your soul. You know, and he's from the LowCountry, you know, he's from the North Charleston / Lincolnville / Somerville / you know, he's all over the place, all over Charleston, and he has a very unique, peculiar voice. You haven't heard a voice like this. Now, you know, you got a lot of singers that come from here, from Charleston and surrounding areas. You know, we all got our little uniqueness about us. Everybody should be unique. But his voice, he has a really unique, I would call style. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know you do too. So I'm talking about the one, drum roll, the only, Jason Singleton. Give it up for Jason. What's up, my brother?
What's up, man?
Ain't nothing much, just all is well, just trying to make it.
You hear that preacher voice?
I'm about to say, you hear, y'all see what I was talking about? You hear that voice? It's unique. It's a bit of raspy. It's a bit of Chuck Town. It's all that combined, man. So, yeah, listen, man. We're so happy, so elated that you came on our platform tonight. Now, listen, y'all, it was hard to get. Jason is very, very busy in a good way. In a good way. So, Jason, listen, man, I know I gave you a little Rudy Poop introduction, but why don't you introduce yourself to our platform?
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Jason Singleton. I am the founder and the CEO of Jason Singleton and Friends. My music group is called Singleton Music. I am a proud native of Charleston, South Carolina. I just released my first album. I released my first single, which is entitled Bless My Soul. I just my album this year in July 16th, which was my birthday weekend. So I wanted it to make it special. It was a long process, but we got it done.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah. Listen, man. So you said it was a long process, and you know, I know that it was a process, man. But listen, tell everybody else, you know, how did you get into this world of music, you know, from the first place?
Okay, well, I was brought up. I'm a child prodigy of music. Always in the church. Grew up in the church from knee high, as they said, knee high, from a grasshopper to knee high. Um, been around the older saints. Always started imitating the older saints. My grandmother, my grandfather, my mom, just fell in love with the music. It's always something about a praying grandmother and a praying mother. And this is the result of being in church. But you have to have that passion
Yeah.
and tenacity to want to um, just do what you want to do. It may get tiring along the journey, but you always have to have that passion for it to, for you to kick in overdrive to do what you do. But growing up in my little community, I had a lot of musical influences. One with the Nobles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Fred
Yeah,
Fred.
family. Okay, yes, I know Fred.
yeah, Fred's grandmother and his father. His father was my first music teacher.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
His father was my first vocal instructor. His father had a major part in my music career, and Fred took up where his father left off, and I started following him and learning how to play and just doing what I do.
Wow. So,
Dope.
so how long? How old were you when you started singing and playing? And what do you play, by the way?
I
Yeah.
played the piano. Went to school, went to Allen University, majored in piano performance with a minor of religion. Um, I started singing, I say roughly at the age, from what I can remember, what my parents told me, at the age of 3.
Whoa.
Yes. So when I started playing roughly about 10. But my mother, believe it or not, was my first music teacher.
Mm.
Um, she just taught me what she knew, which was a little ABC, CDFG, um, putting the notes, taping the notes on a little small, a little Fisher Price piano, a little keyboard.
Okay.
And my first song that I learned was a hymn of the church, which is Sweet Hour of Prayer.
Wow.
Um, my first gospel that I learned on the piano was This Little Light of Mine. And all that
Man.
3 chords.
So do you play in church now? You play the piano?
No, I used to I played for several churches and I played for umpteens of years.
Okay.
Um, when I um decided to do ministry, focus on preaching, and took the time to go back and serve at my local church, which is Destiny Worship Center in North Charleston. I decided to go there and focus on preaching and the ministry side there to help grow my church. Um,
Okay.
time and and at time if they need me to play or to help, do whatever I do there, I fill in there. And then I do the music side there as far as directing the choir, making sure the praise team. I lead worship there
Hmm.
and preach
So
also.
we're gonna jump into the preaching and on the second half, but I want to ask you, you started playing at 3, and you were always, according to what you're saying, it's like always in the church. Did you have any outside influences, besides the church? As far as like, I know you said Fred or the Nobles were kind of like your influence, young. Any other influences musically?
Yes. My other influence was it's this older gentleman in Charleston, Sandy Desashore, he God bless his soul.
Mm,
Um, Chris Michael Haynes and Crystal Hayward.
Ah,
Those were my major influences. And lastly, um, Jerome Carter.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Wow. So I know now. I'm gonna get into your song. You know, I know you have a whole album out, the LowCountry Experience. Listen to the whole thing, love it. Right? It's a few favorites I got on there that you haven't, that is not out pushed as a single yet, and I'll tell you offline which one it is. But so bless my soul.
Yeah.
Tell us how. Now, did you write this song? Do you write?
I do write. I do write. I do write.
How did this song "Bless My Soul" come about?
Believe it or not, my grandfather, and his father used to sing that song. And,
Oh, okay.
and they just sung it and sung it. So one day, I was just like, I'm just gonna sing it.
Wow.
And it's really not in the original way that they sung it. I had to, switch some things around to make it comfortable for me, to make it more so radio and that four people can sing it.
Right.
So who were the producers behind it?
The producers were Bam Witten.
Okay.
Bam. And my guy that does the mastering is right here.
Mr. Ori.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't master all of them, but I got a couple of them.
So we and my engineer was Denzel. We worked very hard. And I do thank God for my church, for really pushing behind everything, and which is Destiny Worship Center in North Charleston. And that really played a major part. That's where everything was recorded live there.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah, because I remember seeing the video. Bam, I saw Bam. He put it out.
Every time he get mastered, he drop it the next day.
Hey, Bam is so funny, man. Bam would hit me. It'd be a random hit. Hey, Doc. Hey, Bishop, what you doing, man? I need you, man. Can you master this song? I'd be like, hey, when you need it done? Yo, I need it done like yesterday. I'm like, Bam, I got a whole lot of other stuff I'm doing.
He's always on.
He used to tell you like, yo, man, Jason on my butt, man. Come on, man, help me out. I was like, okay, Bam. All right. But tell us the process. Like you said it took a long time to get this whole record done. You know, can you dive into that a little bit? Why did it take so long?
Well, I'm gonna even back up how this really came about. Really, Bam, I've always wanted to do something like this. But Bam really dropped it in my spirit, and said that you really need to do this because there's a sound that you have that the world really needs to hear. So I really prayed about it, and then just one day out the blue, the Lord really put the unction in my spirit to go ahead on and do what I need to do to get this done. And then another major influence who had a major hand in this, two of them, is Earl Bynum and Professor Craig Hayes.
Okay.
Wow.
My GMWA.
Yeah.
They really pushed and really drived to me to get where I am. But the process was just the preparation, finding background singers, asking the Lord really to lead me to the right people to get this done, because I needed a sound to match what I'm singing.
Right.
How would you describe your sound? And I don't want to lump it all up and say the Charleston sound, but how would you describe your sound, and how would you distinguish that between Charleston as a whole, and then what you have?
Well, Charleston is the foundation, but I wanted to reach wanted it to reach the world because I wanted it to be very church-like. I wanted you to feel like you were in your church. Because a lot of times now the world has really deviated from the foundation of really what gospel music really is about, and really how it came about. So I wanted to keep the traditional feel, but put it on a more of a contemporary aspect as to where that all ages would really relate. And it would actually, I want it to be a movement.
Mm.
And it's definitely moving.
I'm about to say that it is.
And believe it or not, the late Bishop Ronald Brown created that sound that for his time. Him and Mike, Professor Michael Ross produced the sound. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to take that, modernize it, but still keep the same sound of what it could be, worldwide. But I wanted it to be more so, not more so on a commercial level, but more so as to where that it could be for all ages.
Yeah, I think you achieved that.
Yeah, and I noticed that there are few churches that are singing your song right now. I saw one from Brian Carn. I think he was singing it. There was a couple of other churches that I couldn't remember who it was, but it's definitely moving, man.
Yes, and it's like an anthem. I know it's like an anthem at Brian Carn's church, Kingdom City, and it has now basically become an anthem at the Potter's House.
Oh, nice.
Because the Potter's House at TD Jakes, they really sing it every Wednesday, either offering or before the word. I'm a tag every week.
How does that make you feel, man? Like you set out to do something, you wanted to have a song or a whole sound, an album that makes an impact across the globe, and now to see it catching fire, how does that make you feel as an artist, as a writer, as a person who takes your craft seriously?
It makes me feel good, but in the same case, I always ask God to keep me humble so I can do His will.
Okay. Hey,
what happened is, and I've learned this, that the crowds will pump you up, and what it is, you'll begin to get this arrogance, and we'll get it confused with assurance. So you have to move, from the arrogance, and to assurance, or from assurance to arrogance. And then when you get to that, you always want to be in a place of humbleness so that God could really use you, so that He could say that He did it more so and did it.
I've learned never accept the praise.
Yeah.
Just never. People gonna lift you up, but never accept the praise.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, keep I feel the preacher about to come out of you, Jason. So listen, we're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we're gonna ask him. You said earlier that you preach, and that's something I didn't know. So when we come back after this break, after we listen to some of this good music, this Jason Singleton music, we're gonna get into the preaching side and see how he balances all these things that he's doing. Right when we come back, y'all, share the video.
Sunday morning is one of the most segregated times in the country.
So when we understand our role as believers in the body, we should be the most powerful force on the planet. The church is the largest special interest group in the world, but because we are so fragmented and disjointed,
This is the moment, the one where every detail matters, where the essence of who I am takes center stage. Tonight isn't just another evening, It's a canvas waiting to be painted with shared smiles, laughter, and the unspoken connection. It's not just a fragrance, it's a whisper of who I am, an unspoken invitation, a story waiting to be unfolded. With this cologne as my silent ally, I'm armed and ready to create a night that won't be forgotten by morning. Tonight, I become the author of an unforgettable story. Code 78, the love movement. I know y'all love that. Y'all love that? Listen, man, Jason's music is out of here. It's going places. And man, we're so excited for this young man, who's been doing things. And before the break, Jason mentioned that he's a preacher. He's preaching. And this is something that I didn't know, right? I could say maybe JR didn't know either. So Jason, tell us, man, can you expound on that a little bit? You have your license to preach. And when did you get that? And how did this whole thing come about for you?
Okay, yes, I am a preacher. A couple weeks ago would mark another year. I got licensed to preach in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. And it was in October, the second Sunday in October, which was October the 12th. So I just celebrated another year of ministry, being in the ministry. And I've been preaching licensed now for 3 years.
Wow.
Yes. And now I do serve and assist my pastor in ministry as he sees fit and, in the need, doing membership services and outreach at my church. So my schedule has been very, very, very busy with preaching. Last week I had three engagements in 1 week, trying to balance that.
Whoa.
Was preaching something you always wanted to do as a kid, or were you how did you I guess got into that path?
Well, being in church, the mothers would always speak things over you. Like, always say God always got a calling on you. God got a greater work for you to do. And the mothers would pray with me during that time. And I remember my former pastor prayed that with the mothers, that what they spoke over me, that it will be cultivated, and in his time that I would listen and answer to the call of ministry. I knew I was called to ministry even when I was very, very young, but God does everything in his own timing.
Right.
So speaking of time, how do you, because I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. I like preaching in itself and being like, I'm not saying a pastor, but just going places to preach, that can be very taxing. And then now you have an album out and your songs are taking off. And now the demand on, people booking you and things like that is going to go up. How do you balance preaching versus singing versus accepting this engagement to preach versus being booked over here? How do you balance all of that and whatever else you got going on in your life? How do you balance that whole thing?
Well, with that being said, every every place or when people call, everything is, you don't always jump to the first thing. I've always been taught that you pray first, because everything, when you're going to these places, you need to make sure you're going there on an assignment.
Yeah.
And because you want to reach the people. And secondly, my prayer is always, Lord, show me who I'm ministering to. That when
Wow.
I go there, that somebody's life can be changed. Because I don't always want to go somewhere just because it's a gig or it's a performance, um or because I need money or whatever the case. I'm going there on a specific assignment from the Lord.
Do you find that difficult sometimes to make the decision on what you choose to do? Like if someone booked you, right, and it's, let's say, the Potter's house or somebody, hey, we're gonna bring you to the Potter's house, and at the same time you got a call from your pastor to say, hey, we're going over to Holly Hill, I want you to preach and bring the word. How would you make that decision in something like that?
But with that being said, anything that I do, I try to, even before I take the assignment, I try to check with my pastor first,
Oh, okay.
or that, if make sure that the church doesn't need me or he doesn't need me to do anything first. And then if he doesn't need me to do anything, then I go and,
Hmm.
fulfill that deed.
Okay. So back to your song, back to Bless My Soul and this whole album. What do you want people to take away from your songs? And specifically Bless My Soul. What do you want people to take away? What's the message you want them to get? How do you want that to impact them?
The message that I want them to really get is that God has really blessed them, blessed their soul, really, because even in the midst of the pandemic, or that we all have came through and came out of, God has really blessed us tremendously. Some people did not really make it out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Uh, Not only that, some people don't even have a roof over their head.
Wow. So would you say that the song pretty much originated from maybe something you was going through, or was it because if you were just thinking about people in general, just going through some things and just wanted to be an encouragement to them?
I was going through some things at one time, and then I know that God really brought us through.
Mm,
And I wanted the world to know that it's really that Jesus really bless your soul, because you could have been cut off. Millions didn't make it, but we are one of the ones that did.
mm,
So it's truly amazing. And even when I sing the song, I really sing it like it's my last time, because you never know when it's gonna
right.
be. So I always wanted to deliver that message, that even if when I do sing the song, Jesus really bless your soul. Not Jason bless your soul, but the
Right.
God is gonna bless your soul.
Do you get nervous at all when you go to like do live performances or minister live with the song versus going to bring a word? Does anyone make you more nervous than the other, or is it the same feeling?
Well, the more so when I'm preaching, that
Mhm.
it makes me nervous, because a lot of people try to look at the outward appearance, because I'm short in stature. So little boy is, or whatever the case. So I really have to really get to a place as to where, and shift sometimes the preacher man from the singer, or from the singer from the preacher man. And that's on both sides. Even when I'm singing, you have to have a good balance of what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and where to do it at.
Wow.
Nice, man. So listen, encourage our audience, man. Like if there may be somebody listening that's an inspiring artist, you know, or like you, they feel the tug, the call on their life to go into a word ministry, you know, how would you encourage that person, you know, first musically, and then the one who's called to the pulpit?
Everything is done in timing. Never rush to do it.
Mm.
Even when I accepted a call to the ministry, my pastor sent me back, even though he knew, but he never did say he knew at that time.
Mm.
But he told me to go back, and I came to the old school way that they told you to go back and pray. And when you come back, you got to come with the right answer of how the Lord spoke to you, concerning what He said of how you're called, because you have to make sure that your calling, your election is very sure. Even with the music ministry, just because you have a voice doesn't mean you're called to do certain things. Everybody has a calling, but you have to know what your calling is. And just because you can sing, that doesn't mean you're made to do CDs. You may just be somebody that a lead singer in the choir,
Mm.
a singer for praise and worship. Just because you're a singer, that doesn't mean you can lead praise and worship either.
Oh yeah.
That is
But
correct.
because what it is, you're giving account for the souls that who you're leading into worship. And even with this, you know, I take it very serious, because whatever I'm dealing with personally, I don't want the spirits from me to bleed on the people.
Mm. Yeah, that's so true.
So you have to really do it from a pure place, from with a clean spirit and clean hands.
Yeah, you're right about that. So tell us, man, how can people book you or reach you to maybe, you know, get you out to, you know, different engagements?
Well, the quickest and the fastest way,
Call me. I'm managing him. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
fastest way, to get a quick response is Facebook.
Ah,
Um, I have my artist page, and I have my personal page. If I don't get back to you, somebody will get back with you within 24 hours. Um,
Okay.
and also, you can book by email. My email is jasonj.singleton@gmail.com. You will get a quick response from that too.
And
Um,
we'll have all of that on the screen at the bottom of the screen, y'all. So you should see it right now. Jason, listen, before we let you go, anything on the horizon? Like, is it gonna be like a Jason tour type of thing? What's the future look like? You know, with this whole album right here.
it is. I want to do a tour. Just trying to build up my name. You know, get my face out there a little more. It's getting out there, but I want to do that. I really want to get some stuff going. Then I really want to do a tour.
Hey, the thought just hit my mind, and nobody don't get mad at me, y'all. So the thought hit my mind, like, since everybody's like from Charleston or surrounding areas, you got Jarrell, you got Kilante, you got Jason, yourself, you got a numerous amount of other people, Ashley,
Ashley.
yeah, Javetta, all of these people should get together. You got Mike Brown, everybody, and call it the Low Country. I was gonna say Voices, but they already got a group. They got a group called that. Hey Nate, don't hurt me. But yeah, it should be like a Charleston type Low Country. I'll say Low Country type of tour where it features a lot of artists from the Low Country.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first. Put your egos to the side. I was just joking. But listen, man, Jason, man, we appreciate you for coming on this platform. We know you're busy. We know you're doing a lot of things, but you took the little bit of time to come on this platform and educate us, educate our audience, you know, because a lot of people like to see the actual person, you know, besides the persona or besides what, you know, the performer. We want to know the person. And that's what this platform is about. You know, how did you get to where you are right now? So that encourage other people, you know, to produce, you know, what God gave them to produce. So, man, we appreciate you for coming on the platform. And so, y'all, listen, this has been an exciting episode, you know, of Ask the Producer. Again, share this video, you know, replay it, you know, tag your buddy on it. You know, Jason Singleton came to Ask the Producer, and he blessed us tonight. Jason, any final words, bro?
All that I can say is download. Let's get the numbers up more. You can download it on iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon. It's on every digital outlet. Download it. I promise you, it will bless
your soul.
That's right. Y'all heard it from Jason himself. Download it. Support good artists. Support your brother. Support, you know, people who's doing things, trying to impact. You know, this is all for the kingdom of God. You know, so we like to support that. You know, again, it's a great album, great project from start to finish. You know, so go ahead and download that all over. You know, every place that you get music, you listen to music, you can download it. So this has been Ask the Producer. I'm Gabriel. JR, you got any other thoughts?
Nah, man. Jason, thank you for blessing us, man. We appreciate you, man. Looking forward to hear more from you, and hopefully we get you back on next time. So, man, thank you again.
No problem. Appreciate
y'all.
Come on.
And we out.